What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Look Back. So today I want to talk about songs that should have been hits. Now there are songs that underperformed, but then there are songs that were totally mismanaged and had the greatest opportunity and then shit just went crazy. Now my number one song that should have totally been a monster hit is Fifth Harmony's Sledgehammer. I'm no harmonizer and I've been really critical of the girls, but Sledgehammer is such an exceptional pop song. It's one of the best pop singles in recent years. It went platinum, it had tons of promo, it was positively received, but nothing. It peaked at number 40 and it never really connected with radio. I don't really know why. It's really strange. It's relatable, unlike the previous single. The 80s influence bubbly pop production really complements their vocals. The lyrics are amazing, the melodies are great, the hooks are killer. It's just one of those cases where it just didn't connect and it just doesn't make sense. Quite like Adam Lambert's second single from Trespassing, Never Close Our Eyes. This one had Dr. Luke and Circuit behind it, two pop producers that are dynamos in the industry, and Bruno Mars wrote it, so it seemed like a total shoe-in for Adam to cross over into the pop world. It fit in very well with the 2011-2012 dance pop style. He had everything working for him, but peaked at number 110. It didn't even make the Billboard Hot 100. The melodies were beautiful, he did a great vocal performance, it wasn't too overwhelming, but it wasn't even a blip on anyone's radar. I guess you can chalk it up to not a lot of promo, there weren't a lot of performances, but Adam did go on an extensive radio promo tour right before Trespassing was released, when Never Close Our Eyes was released, so it's really weird that radio never latched onto the song. Speaking of Dr. Luke's hits that haven't really broke through, another one was Paris Hilton's Nothing in This World. I'll give it to you that it's Paris Hilton, but Paris contains some of the best modern pop music. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Her name most likely worked against her. Stars Are Blind was a top 20 hit, but that was Paris's first single, and people are like, yeah, let me play this. But the second single, they're like, okay, it's Paris Hilton. It was such an earworm that I don't even think it should have mattered, but at least it will go down as one of the most underrated pop songs in history. Now these next two are really bizarre. I never understood why Kelly Rowland and David Guetta's Commander was never a huge hit in the States. It came a little bit before the EDM wave in 2010, so that might have had to do with it, but it's honestly one of the best club songs of this decade. It still sounds just as fresh as the first time I heard it, and every time I do hear it, nobody can contain themselves. It is such a banger. Another single that I didn't quite really get that came out earlier this year was Charli XCX's Doing It, not the version with Rita Ora. I think Break the Rules probably hurt its chances a little bit. Charli was coming off of Boom Clap, which is this huge hit, but the 90s pop and beef sound that Doing It had seemed like it would be such a staple on the spring radio playlist. I don't know what happened. It really should have followed Boom Clap at the end of the day, but it just never connected with an audience, and sadly we'll never know why. Another one that I don't really know why is Christina Aguilera's Your Body. I guess she was coming off of Bionic and that definitely hurt her career, but X-Tina was finally partnering up with Max Martin. It was a little suggestive, but Christina's always released suggestive music and it's always shot to the top, so what was different this time? I personally believe that Let There Be Love should have been the Max Martin single that led the project. That one would have blew up, but Your Body was still pretty perfect. It's total ear candy, and it just got lost in the mix. It didn't really do terrible. It peaked at number 34, but it definitely could have been a top 20 hit. Maybe Christina had a vendetta against the song because there was no promo and she's promoting every other song on Lotus. I think the most recent example of the should have been hit was Carly Rae Jepsen's I Really Like You. It was slated as her comeback. It was a reintroduction to Carly. It had the great 80s flavor that she's known for, but it kind of fell short. Radio hasn't really grabbed onto it. Downloads were like, I don't get it. It had a solid hook, it's really relatable. It might have been a little bit annoying and turned people off, so I get that. It just proves that lightning doesn't strike twice and that Carly should not try to replicate Call Me Maybe ever again. Luckily, there's a lot of good songs on Emotion, so I think she'll be fine for this era. She just has to be really wise with picking singles from this moment on. Now, not everything is an underperformance. Some singles are great and they're just totally mismanaged. Like Ciara's Overdose. Overdose could have been a huge pop moment for Ciara, but her label canceled the release. Now sometimes singles aren't even sent to radio, like Hilary Duff's Sparks. Why this was never sent to radio, I will never know. RCA totally missed the mark on this one. And same for her label mate Betty Who. Betty Who released All of You last fall and it was never sent to radio. The video even came out months later. I don't know how RCA thought that this single was gonna break through with no management whatsoever. It has a top 10 hit at least written all over it. Another mismanaged opportunity. Now sometimes singles don't break through because of monster hits from before that overshadow the current single, much like Jessie J's Burn It Up. Burn It Up was a jam. It was so good and kind of better than Bang Bang, but Bang Bang totally overshadowed it. It had 3 monster artists on it, and its longevity was insane. It really came down to the label pushing it too soon. Maybe if they didn't, it could have performed different, we'll never know, but I kind of feel like it would have been a sizable hit and not in the lower half of the charts for Jessie J. That about wraps it up for this episode of Look Back. There'll be a lot more episodes of Look Back coming soon, so remember to subscribe to this channel if you want to see me reminisce on past songs or past albums. If you think a song should have been a hit and it never was, leave a comment below, and I will see you guys next time.